Look, the world isn't the way you really think it is. You need to calm down and expand your ideas and think more about what is an astral body, and think about, I mean, we talk about Archimedean levers. I've loved this picture one day. It came to me, that's Archimedes could say, give me a fulcrum and in a place in space, and I could use a lever to move the earth, right? I can move it. I got to get far enough. And I think to myself, well, what are we going to do in the materialistic age we're in? What Archimedean levers do we have that could possibly start to move people out of the profound dogma of materialism? I mean, dogma of materialism. And I think of the physical body, the etheric body, the astral body, and the ego as these aren't just dreamy ideas, right? In Steiner, they're concretely done in medicine. They're concretely used in agriculture.
Anthroposophical medicine, you understand, it's not about trying to leave your body into some astral plane. It's understanding how to unify the two and understand how one creates the other, and it goes full circle.
He stresses the role of ego that plays into this, right? And how important it is.
Of course, and it's the ego that is the moral agency. That's what's going to know what is Christ-like, what is going to be Ahrimanic-like, what is going to be Luciferic-like, right? My ego doesn't know that very well. And that's the interesting part of trying to live in the Christ, is just for cognition purposes, just for the purposes of having a grounded knowing, is to try to understand the ego you have as being this reflection that's growing in the presence of the true ego, the high ego of the Christ being in us, right? Which is there for us in that same. So,
yeah, we're not talking about woo-woo, out-of-body stuff with Steiner, because we're talking about really the concentration of the egoic mind and our ability to then reach into these places of insights that we can, and to bring them into this world in a way that's not escapist, right? That's not lost in the emotions and feelings. It's a really concentrated sensibility there of thinking, of the thinking mind, and then that it leads to, I would assume, creation, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people think, oh, thinking, Steiner's this kind of thinker, and I'm like, oh, no. That thinking we're talking about is very holistic. The whole human being is living in this, and it's not in us. I'm using my brain, and I'm performing brain dead thinking, right? I'm not experiencing thinking. I'm experiencing the corpses of thinking that reflect through my brain and that I can grasp until I can raise that to a deeper, richer experience, right? He says that we go through the spheres, and in our cooperation with the hierarchies, we come to the needed impulses for our next life. And when we get to Saturn and we begin the return, we ourselves inscribe these things ourselves now through the power of Christ. And now they become different. Now we don't get astrology, we get astrosophy, as Steiner called it, right? Willie Suker, and I know you know about this, right? So there's a whole new development of astrology. It's gone to the next level, shall we say. And I'm not an expert on it. Boy, the experts on it, if you've ever met one, they are intense people, right? But I get such a fascinating picture there.
And the Saint Germain teachings, which I believe are just, what Rudolf Steiner helped prepare the way for, is they talk about the astrological teachings and how we would, in this particular era, be reaching what Steiner talked about as the seventh octave, where we go past the I. And in that seventh octave, we are now the designers of our own realm and capable of transmutation and so forth. There's a great book. I don't know if you've seen this one. It takes all of Steiner's original artwork relative to the zodiac, and he takes you through it all. And that's available in the Steiner buildings to this day. I believe all his original artwork on the zodiac.